then in this building, in this province, you can add more buildings that add more tribal development growth, so you get like a positive feedback. And hello, Sansa, you really know how to time. She's a very feral cat. We took her from a cat home.
Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream, this feature stream for Leviathan, where I'm joined by our resident game designer, Groogy. Hey, Groogy.
Hello. Hello, everyone. It's been a while.
Go ahead.
No, you introduced.
I was just going to say, do you want to give us a rundown of what we're expecting today and over the next couple of weeks, and then I'm just going to hand over to you.
Yeah, so we'll be doing 3 feature streams, and today we'll be going through all of the North American content that we've been doing, and then we'll head over to Southeast Asia. That got the bulk of the work, and that includes features like, monuments and so on. And then last stream we'll cover anything we missed that didn't fit those two, or if you guys have any questions or want to see more out of, and so on. But yeah. So today is North America, which is obviously not here, it's over here. And as you can see, we've done like a huge rework of how everything looks. It's a lot more populated than it used to be. And we have a lot of interesting tribes. For instance, the Iroquois is now split into several tribes as they were historically, and the Huron as well. We have a couple of new federations to make it more interesting. But so let's get into the game and actually have a look on some of the features. I'm gonna start with Wichita because I can't stop thinking of a very popular song. Since we redid America, we also made sure it was fleshed out with content. So there's tons of new national ideas, new missions. There's free missions, and there's also missions that are tied to Leviathan. So and I think Conquest of Paradise. So it's like a mixed match of everywhere. So there's a lot to go through. So if you have like a specific one, I want to see this country, let me know. But I'll go through the mechanics with Wichita because they start, what is that? Like Texas, around Texas, and have a lot of room to move about in. They start as migratory, and I can go through the entire process of them becoming a settled nation. But yeah. So actually, let's have first a look at federations. So at the start of the game now, we had the Three Fires Confederacy, we have the Iroquois Confederacy, we have the Huron Confederacy, and then we have the Illinois Confederacy, and the Great Sioux Nation, which Wichita is part of. We'll get into the new federation mechanics as well. And there's also some differences since we did the dev diary because of feedback from the community and me having free time and not having a life in COVID pandemic times. So first, which is the thing, is we are a migratory tribe, which means we move around and we gain development by burning like the resources that using the resources that exist in whatever given area we are in. It's sort of like to do seasonal migration, but without actually forcing the player to move every half year in the game, because that would get really annoying with how EU4 plays. But as a start, like for instance, we can migrate to any of these provinces. We own these indirectly as a tribe, and we can see here we have Kado own this. We can decide to migrate in there. We gain more development by doing so, but it also gives them CBs on us to like force us out. And
Do you want to talk a little bit about the territory system? Because like you can see there is a faint purple border around some of the other provinces, while the actual filled in is Waco. So what's going on there?
Yeah. So essentially, this is where the tribe is currently, but all of these land is considered like part of the Waco tribe, even though they are not directly using it right now. So in essence, what you kind of want to is like you want to make sure you get a sizable amount of tribal land that you can move around in and defend from others trying to move in and use the resources there, so your tribe can grow. So we can, for instance, just let time tick. Like for as a migratory tribe, your development just goes up naturally as long as you can graze like on the land. Like as long as devastation doesn't hit 100, you're pretty fine. And there are some a little bit issues with. We're playing on hot code, so there's a little bit of issues with the AI when it comes to federations. But a programmer in Tinto has already like worked on that and made it a lot better than it is in this current build.
That's a good question. Are there any formable Native American tribes?
Yes, and that's also part of the federation thing, which we will get to. I can hint a little bit there. This little thing, if you took a screen cap, you can read up on that. But we'll get to it. But for instance, at least here, as time goes on, like my tribe will just naturally get devastation. But like the idea of this system is that compared to before, you had a timer every so many years you could migrate and get a bonus. Now it's more like you decide yourself when you want to migrate, so you have to make a decision on like cost worth, and also like maybe I want to also claim this land since it's free. I'm gonna move in here, cost me 50 military points, and then for 100 admin points I can add that to become part of my tribe, which also makes it easier for me to defend it if in case anyone else moves in. And this will also tie in then when you become settled. Also, big part like of the rework is when you build buildings now and you migrate, you keep the building. The building goes with you, so it's no longer like just a waste of money that like it was before. The game will remember, you built a ceremonial pit, so you're gonna keep that when you move.
Well, that's a really good change. That was always frustrating having to rebuild everything.
Yeah. A lot of the changes we've done are like centered around a bit like make it not frustrating and make it the player taking an action rather than responding, like deciding, oh, this is my best choice right now. And for instance, I can also, besides like adding tribal land like that, I can also take it in a tribal feud, which will let me take it directly from him. And all right, we need to wait for the correct date.
Getting closer.
There we go. And we're just gonna cheat because I'm bad at the game. No, there. Let time go a bit.
See, Witches are just good. They can just win wars.
Yep. But then there's also the case of like, let's say I now take everything that this tribe has, or I take the province that he is on, but he is a migratory tribe, so it's like it would reason that he shouldn't die, right? Even if I take this tribal land and add it to my own, he shouldn't die. He should just move, right? So that is a thing we've done. So
oh, and that would mean that more of the natives are actually alive for when the colonial nations start to arrive. That's really good.
Or did I? Oh no, I found a bug. But yeah, well, we're working with hot code, so this is a thing that has also been like fixing with. Is that they should move whenever they like get conquered, except if they're settled. Maybe he was settled, and I didn't see that correctly.
Hot code.
Let me actually have a quick check here. Oh no, they are settled, so never mind. Yeah, he was settled, so that's why he didn't move. So there's that.
So that is one of the dangers. So if a player got attacked by another migratory tribe and they were migratory, would you then automatically move?
Yes. So we do tag lip. I should be able to declare war here. I have a breaking truce, but I don't care. Let's return you. Let's get you back, because this is a migratory tribe. And we do this, break the truce. Yes. Win wars. Let's wait for the time to go. There. And we now take this. Can't I take it? Is it too much? It's probably too much war score for me to actually take it. Crap. How do I test this then? But anyway, the point there is that he will move out of the way because I took his land. But there's also the case of like, if I migrate into someone else's land, it will give a CB where I can force them out and gain some power reaction and stuff like that. So, but for me, if I go to, let's just piece this out. tag back. If I do migrate here, while that is not mine, I will be gaining more tribal development while I'm doing this. Because they're I'm taking from someone else, so I don't care as much of leaving a good land, and also to promote a little bit of conflict between the player and like AIs.
So what exactly is tribal development?
Tribal development is essentially your tribe. It's supposed to represent, since we have development in the provinces, but it doesn't make sense for you as much as a migratory tribe to so what I did is we added tribal development, which is sort of in between that grows over time and that you can lose over time, but it's also mainly like that, and you can build buildings that also helps you increase it over time. While you're migratory, it rests in your capital. So as we see here, we have 9 development, and if I hover over here, it'll say from tribal development 1 for now. But it takes time over time to build, to grow. Yeah.
So it's like a centralized development pool. So you don't actually develop provinces as a migratory or settled tribe. You develop yourself.
As a migratory tribe, you can't develop provinces at all. But let's go and just migrate back into our land, and we reform progress 1,000, something like that. There, and we have some also like some unique government reforms for Native Americans, but the idea here is like instead of having a separate reformation system, we just use government reforms instead. So we've integrated it in there instead of like previously was here and you had to neighbor European and so on. Instead, we've done it like an iterative process that you do over time. So you have like you have the first step, which is you have some bonuses you can get. For instance, like we might want to take this one just so we get reform progress a little bit faster, and then comes we can become a war band. We keep being migratory, which we might want to do because then in the end we can become a nomad horde, but you have to remain migratory throughout the entire time. You can settle down, which does give you institution spread, but also makes it harder for you to add more tribal land. You still can, but it just costs a lot more. Or you can keep being migratory, but like not going the warband way. You just make it easier for you to travel. Let's say you want to actually establish a country on the other side of America, then this would kind of be the thing to do. But we want to settle down, so we were going to do that. And now, with the tribal development we have, we can settle that into provinces. So essentially, that becomes now I get 3 development in 1 province, but it costs me only 50 diplomatic power to do. And when I do that, that becomes a fully fledged province.
So is it always 1-1-1, or is that dependent on your tribal development?
It is dependent on what you have here. I think it caps, if I remember, it was a while ago since he implemented this. I think the cap is 10, so you can only at maximum add 10 to 1 province. But yeah, and then then in this building, in this province, you can add more buildings that add more tribal development growth, so you get like a positive feedback. And hello, Sansa, you really know how to time. She's a very feral cat. We took her from a cat home. Native Americans. So like the buildings are kind of built to like help you along the way to become reformed, to get yourself like in a state where you can fight off the Europeans. And part of that is you can get monthly reform progress in 2 of the buildings, and then you can also build irrigation that gives you tribal development growth. Monthly, you will get a random development that you can settle your provinces faster. But as I said, you to add this as a tribal land there.
So there are 2 questions that have come up, which I think are quite interesting. First one, are there any penalties for being adjacent to a colonial nation through disease?
I think so. I think there's a bunch of events and there's content related to it. But we don't have. I don't think that got done a full-fledged disaster system or something like that for it, because content takes time to implement and it's not something we can just conjure up.
I mean, the second one is if you choose seasonal travel and want to go across America, what happens to your native region?
Oh, if you do go to, like, if you add a tribal land that is not connected with your original tribal land, it's disbanded. So if we say I am the Fox here, my favorite tribal nation in EU4, and I would migrate all the way over to Blackfoot here, and I would take new land there, it would remove that. So yeah.
Okay.
We talk about the Europeans. If they do come, you can decide to trade with them, and that will let you reform. But you will reform off them and get the same government style as them. But in the end, if you do decide to wait it out, when you do get down to the latest part, and I think I calculated to, if you build well, it's gonna take you 100 to 150 years to get down here. So you can decide yourself. I want to be a monarchy. I want to be a republic. I want to be a theocracy. So you can decide yourself. And of course, if you're still migratory at that point, you can also become a horde. You can become the steppe horde of what would it be? The Great Plains. Yeah.
Once you settle down, can you go back to being a migratory horde?
Yeah. It's just a government reform.
Okay. I was wondering
maybe I'll lock that. I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be some really weird exploit with that. But
Yeah,
right now you can just go back. Yeah.
Awesome.
Are there any tribal disasters? No, that's what I was saying. I don't think we had time to do that. But yeah, after that we have reforming to a nation state. Yeah. So let's just go down the path, and we're gonna become a republic. Now we are the Wichita Republic of Texas.
Nice.
Yeah. And when you do that, what it does is it will colonize all of the provinces that were part of your tribal land, and it will also divide out your tribal development to those provinces. So you don't lose anything. You don't have to go and make sure you click it out and everything. It's just now this is yours.
Awesome.
But yeah. So yeah. And also part to think about is, as a colonial nation, you can, or colonizers, you can colonize these, and what's it called? The tribals will get a CB to push you out. So if you colonize let's say here Powhatan, they will be able to push out the colonizers and bar them from being able to colonize any of their tribal land as long as the truce is up.
Yeah, I do remember talking to you at ParadoxCon, and one of the things that you wanted to do with this system was allow more interplay between the natives and the colonials when they come in, while still having more Native American tribes represented, while still allowing the colonization to take part. So this territorial system seems to work really well for that. I'm excited. Yeah,
historically, why the Eastern Seaboard was so unpopulated by tags before was because we didn't have any system that would let you do this. So now we can have a lot more tribes. Federations have been reworked now, so it no longer goes by, I think the previous system was Federation Authority, which was something like diplomatic reputation plus prestige or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, that's gone. That was boring. So now we have instead Federal Cohesion, which is decided by your members' culture. So it will promote, if you have of the same culture group, it will increase. If you have let's say I invite someone that is on the other side. What is Wichita? If we go back here, what was your culture group? If we invite Kadoan, for instance, then it will start going down. And when you hit, like when it hits 0%, it will try and reset and pick a new leader, which will be whoever is strongest, which is calculated by the amount of manpower the Federation has. This is scriptable as well, so modders can go wild and change however the strength is calculated. And another, when you then eventually hit 100%, you can use that in order to take one of these advancements, which we'll get to. Part of it is also like if you are weaker than anyone else, the Federation leader is weaker than anyone else in the Federation, then you will also start to lose cohesion because it's promoting whoever is strongest. And we have also if you border a colonizer, it will also give you a huge boon. I think it's 0.5. So like if you border England, for instance, then like it's representing that the Federation feels threatened and need to stick together, and they will also like make you go faster. But in the end, we have I have a sheet.
Can you keep using Federation mechanics when you reform your government?
No. When you're no longer native, you don't have access to this anymore. Man, this is a really old build. There we go. So actually, maybe I should actually show what you can get. You can get institution spread. Yes, but part of also being a native now, you're no longer blocked from taking institutions if they get spread to you. The only thing that's blocked now is that you can't develop, so you can't dev for them. As a settled, you can dev provinces, but it doesn't give you an institution spread of doing so. So you have to wait for it. But so that's why there's a bunch of modifiers now giving you institution spread to like kind of help you catch up. So if the Europeans do come, you will be screwed a little bit in the start, but you can eventually catch up, and you don't have to stress you're not gonna be like, oh, I don't know what guns are, even though you've been neighboring the Europeans for like 20 years. There's charter settlement, just lets you settle a bit cheaper. These are applied to everyone in the Federation. Then you have United Resistance. Everyone in the Federation get attrition for enemies. Pax Americana, just better trade for everyone. We have joint grain depots. It gives everyone tribal development growth in the Federation. We have mutual trust, which makes the favor monthly Federation favor growth, which is just like everyone in the Federation will gain more favor to each other, 0.1 a month. And this works well with the new mechanics. And then we have unified war bands, which enables you to offensive Federation wars. You can call in your federal members. All of these can be taken in any order. It doesn't matter in what order you take these. Only federal constitution needs to be taken last, and it requires all of the other ones to have been taken. And it lets you unite the entire all the tribes of the Federation into one new tag. And it kind of works like a client state. You get to design it. I think there is some special if you are the Iroquois Federation and so on. Now I'm not the original Iroquois Confederacy, so it might not work. But like there's some for the original tags, so you can use them, Jew run and so on. But this essentially lets you form a new nation, a wholly dynamic one, and you can design the flag and so on.
Why would I want to have any tribal land before I settle? I'm getting more development being on other people's tribal land. Would I ever want to be on my own? Because when you settle, that tribal land is basically yours.
Yes. Well, when you become reformed, nation state, you all of it gets settled automatically. But before then, you can settle it with your development, and that lets you build buildings in it, which lets you get more development. So it's a positive feedback loop. But you can't do that with others. You can't do that with others. So essentially, right, that's the way off, right? Like, with being settled, I can get things faster, and I can like put myself in a position where I can have more troops and so on, much easier compared to Migratory, But with Migratory, I might be able to grow a little bit faster if I min-max some things.
And also, you're guaranteed to be able to move in within your territorial borders when other people can only move there if they declare war on you. So it's like territory blocking a little as well.
Yep.
Except for the Colonials. The Colonials ignore that.
Yeah, the Colonials will colonize and ignore it, and you'll have to fight them off in order to keep them up. Octavius, Pocahontas, Caesar. I like that.
Any news about Oceania?
I'll write it in to cover that in the last stream, so we don't forget it. But yes. That's a good point. So I want to expand my travel border as much as possible before reforming. Yeah, basically. It's also more expensive to expand your tribal borders when you're settled. It's way more expensive.
Smoke Prophet, no, they cannot. So if you successfully fight off the colonizers, then your borders are protected for the duration of your truce.
I can move over to one more mechanic, but that requires me to load a save. We can see that Spain has a couple of colonies. So what we've added is you now have different types of colonies. You want the colonies to perform different tasks or whatever you call it. So here we have Castilian Brazil is our crown colony. That's the only one that we've actually established. But we have we can change the type. So we have 3 types now. We have crown colony, which it currently is. We have private enterprise. Crown colony is more like manpower and war focused. You have private enterprise, which is more trade focused. It gives you a naval force limit instead of land force limit, which crown colony gives. You get sailors. You get a merchant. Global trade power, land force limit, blah blah blah. And you also have effect on them. They'll be ruled differently. And then the last one is self-governing colony, which doesn't give you much. It gives you basically nothing, but it instead gives the colony a lot of development bonuses and colonists. So it helps them grow and get you really good land.
When is this DLC released? 27th of April.
Yes. And wait, let me actually go back.
What does it cost to change them?
It costs 1,000 ducats. I think it says... No, okay, it says if you don't have the money, but yeah. We then have, also as part of it is you can upgrade the colonies. As over time, you can invest in them to improve them. So you can, for instance, increase... This is a crown colony, so we can increase draft from the colony, so we get more force limit. But it will also have an impact on their liberty desire and so on. We can, for instance, enlarge the gold fleet, which just makes us get more treasure fleet income. We can make it better for us to convert and make sure we have the religion we want there. And we can do increase integration, which makes it easier for us to govern them. We have increased trade power. This is for private enterprise. Let me actually have a quick switch. Change colonial type. Private enterprise. And here. So we can increase the trade power we get from them. We can encourage cash crops. Now it doesn't say that here, but it makes it more likely that you get sugar and those kind of crops. So
sugar, tobacco, cotton.
Yeah. So you don't get fish in your colony where you want to make money. You can increase how much navy you get from them, and you can also increase the tax you get from them. So let's close that one down. Oh yeah, and when you do switch, okay, let's just jump ahead in date. When you do switch, it also removes all of the upgrades you've done.
Okay.
And then you have a self-governing colony.
So with the private enterprise, when it says you gain 1 extra merchant, does that mean you get 2 when you have 10 provinces?
I believe so. My brain is not giving me the answer, but I believe so, yes. Because this is a Leviathan feature, and the extra merchant is a Wealth of Nation feature, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
No.
But yeah. I believe it's the same feature that as trade companies do. And then you have allow autonomous trade here, which it gives less liberty to decide, but more trade for them. Essentially, like, you know, there's a self-ruling colony, so their upgrades are based around like giving them more liberty and what's it called? There's a specific phrase, benign neglect. So essentially, you let them be and let them do their own thing, and they will prosper from it. Is essentially their idea.
Mm-hmm. Can you forbid colonies? Sorry, go on.
Can you forbid the colonies from doing that? From colonizing? I believe yes. We have allowed settlement growth. Was that the question? I didn't see it in chat.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm scrolled up quite a bit because I wanted to catch up on some of these because there are a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah.
Can I forbid my colony to colonize land that's in a different colonial region?
No, you have an event where you can like correct that, but I don't believe there's a way to prohibit it right now.
Do any of the colonial powers like Spain, Portugal have special colonial subject types, or are they just those 3?
No, it's just those 3. Will colonies be declaring war for land more often? I mean, they will if you nurture them in a way where they are stronger than the neighbors, but you also, of course, have start war in colony.
Can you culture convert in colonies?
Don't think so, no.
Is there a way of changing the religion of a colony? Because I know there are other subjects.
I don't think so. I know what you mean, but I don't think there is like forced religion on them, no.
Yeah, can you show the bonuses for crown colonies now that you've switched to a different one?
Oh yeah. This is the wrong one. Customize subject. No. All right, I need to actually jump ahead in time. There, change colonial type, crown colony, there. So 50% of land force limit bonus. You get a little bit of navy, you get manpower, a little bit of sailors, you get a merchant, global trade power, land force limit, and naval force limit.
So when it says bonus, is that taking from them or is that just giving more?
So it is the old subjects have like a modifier on them how much, like depending on the subject type, you will provide different amount of
okay, so it's the contribution bonus.
Yeah, so it's a contribution bonus.
Gotcha.
So it's that bonus, just that like you can modify how you want it to be. And as you can see, like you see, it does have an effect on the colony as well, but it's a flat effect where it makes it lower.
Okay, Crown Colony also does the +1 merchants. Maybe self-governing colonies just don't give you merchants.
No, the intent with them is a little bit to like not give much at all. They retain most of the stuff for themselves, and your benefit from them is that they grow, and then you benefit from the trade that generates.
Yeah, and also just having strong colonial nations.
Yeah.
So do colonial nations have any special interactions with the natives and the territories?
No. There hasn't been anything new with that. It's just the only thing is, right, do I actually have a colonist available here? Let's send you home. How long is that going to take?
Do the new colonies have access to estates?
The new colonies, I didn't believe so. I think if they didn't have before, they are not going to have now. But for instance, we have here. This is a province that belongs to this tribe that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and I can send a colonies like normal. And it will colonize that, but it will still be, while it's a colony, it will still be considered as part of the tribal land until it becomes fully fledged a province. So there. So they will have a CV to kick me out, essentially, during the time I'm trying to colonize this.
And somebody much like an hour ago was asking whether the natives have an easier time kicking the colonists out. I doubt that's changed very much, in terms of technology and troop types.
No, it hasn't changed. I mean, the one difference, I guess, would be that you can get the institution now. You can take it, so you could sort of try and keep yourself up to sort of up to date on tech, but you're still going to have a hard time kicking them out.
Has the generic native idea changed?
The generic native idea, no. But what we have is that we have we've added 3 new idea groups that you can pick instead of aristocratic or plutocratic. But we'll get to those in a later stream. But and one of those are indigenous ideas, which natives have access to. But then it's also we filled out with a bunch of native ideas in the area. So if we do,
I imagine Fox.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I don't do these. It's the content designers that sit and design these and figure out fun things. So no, this is the Plains native. So it's just area idea group. But there's also unique ones. I'm pretty sure the Mohawk are supposed to have that. Okay, this is also a group one, but yeah. So essentially, we filled out the area with a bunch of different ideas. So I don't think anyone up here in North America anymore uses the old generic ideas for natives.
I would imagine those are probably the Brazilians, like the 2P. Are generic.
Oh yeah, they would be generic, yeah.
Are there any new missions for the natives?
New missions, yes. So there's both locked to Leviathan, and there's some that you just get for free to fill it out a little bit. I think all of these ones here are locked to Leviathan, and then there's some I think Eastern Agriculture, they're a little bit here and there, like these and so on, are not locked. Yeah.
One thing we should point out is some of these features are locked to Leviathan, some are free DLC, and then some are also locked to Conquest of Paradise. Conquest of Paradise is getting an upgrade.
Yeah. So, let's be clear. The new native mechanics, the Migratory, Settled, and Federations, and so on, that's still locked to Conquest of Paradise. If you own Conquest of Paradise, you get all of this for free. You've paid for it once, but you don't have to pay anything again in order to get the new native mechanics or the new Federation mechanics. What is locked to Leviathan is mostly the content, like missions. We have and events. We have the religion, the totemism religion is locked to Leviathan, and the expanded colonial types are locked to Leviathan. Can you show west coast of North America? Yes. Also, though this is not the start date anymore since I loaded a save, so everything's gonna look weird. But I don't think any big changes happened here. We do have the Navajo. I think this is as far as the scripter went. He only did the Navajo. Am I even pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Navajo.
Navajo, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do the Pacific Northwest have their own regional idea group?
Maybe. No,
Great Plains.
Northwestern American.
Because I know the latest dev diary had a lot of questions about the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like they got an idea group.
Yeah, so we have development cost, chance of new era, yearly army tradition decay. We have change rival cost, infantry. That's a new one. Torrents of true faith, national unrest, improved relations, possible advisor, stability cost modifier, land leader maneuver, and promote culture and max promoted cultures.
What does dev cost do when you can't develop? You can if you're settled.
Yes, you can if you're settled. Then you can like these ideas are set. And if you do have, if you get tribal development growth as a modifier, it converts to development cost if you are settled. No, not if you're settled. If you're no longer native. And since you spotted, like, that it's quite high dev there, is because
Crikey, it is. Yeah. Bear in mind that this is 100 years into the game.
Yeah. This is them being migratory for 100 years, and this is about the amount of dev they get without any, actual building. Yeah, they haven't even built, and they probably haven't even opted for. Where are you? There, right? There's chiefdom that gives you a little bit more, and then they have this one.
Seasonal travel. So yeah, they have been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And bear in mind, this is like an entire country and just represented by one province.
Yep. If you stack enough military points through falling behind enemies, can you just migrate from the west coast to the east coast without unpausing? Yeah. Like, it doesn't require you to wait until you can do the next one. One problem is for each step further away you are from your home, the more expensive it becomes to migrate. So you would have to create a new home and then migrate again. So you would have to stack up on a lot of mana to do it. If we now I'm gonna take out a calculator. If I do, 999 divided by 50, you can do like 20 migrations probably easily. So if you micro everything correctly, you could probably migrate 20 provinces, but I'm pretty sure America is more than 20 provinces wide. I'm pretty sure.
I'll probably get you to like Michigan.
Yeah, you can probably get quite a while.
When a tribe federalizes, does the development reduce significantly? I don't think that changes, does it?
No, it just spreads out over all the land you own. So, like this guy that we are here, if we would claim all of the land. So this guy has probably migrated far away from his home, or I think. No, that's not.
I was going to say, it's. Can you hover over like the 16 military so you can see how much is from the central development? So it's not actually in that province.
Yeah.
So 15 of that 16 isn't actually in that province.
Yeah. So if we would migrate here, there's a lot of devastation. Yeah, probably have been migrating around here. So let's go through here.
Because like I said earlier, like that one province is representing the entire nation. So that big chunk of development is their central nation, which is actually kind of spread out in that area.
Mm-hmm. And he is very far from home, I just saw. So yeah, that's also a thing that has been tweaked. But essentially, if we do here, bam, now this is his new home. The province we were in, as you see, now is 121. And now the development has traveled with us.
So if a European conquered that province, for example, they wouldn't get a 50, they would get a 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If a European kills a tribe, he doesn't get that development.
Do they get anything for it, like money payoff?
I think I added a define, so you can turn it on, but I think it's set to 0% right now. But there is a define where you can mod and tweak it. But yeah. I'm pretty sure this added for ages ago. This has been a while.
Yeah,
but
I really want to see mods working with this.
Yeah, I've tried to make everything as moddable as possible. Someone asked, "Will devastation go down?" Yes, it will. This has also been tweaked. Right now, this is the same value as if you're controlling a province. We've upped it a little bit. So it goes down a little bit faster than this. But the idea there, right, is that while a European controlled province devastation going down at 0.8 is because the land is still being used and by humans, so it's going to be slower, while here it's just like natural growth just does what it wants. If the native nation devs their province, is that bank when they migrate? If they are migratory, they cannot dev. So if we go here, it will literally say migratory tribes can't develop.
Yeah, all of their development is in their central pool.
Yeah, which you can view here as well.
I really like that central system. That's really cool. That's clever.
And here you can also see a breakdown.
When you migrate into another culture, does your culture change? Or is that locked to your nation?
No, that's locked to your nation. But it does, like, so... This is... Athabaskan. And I am... now my brain is farting. There, Chinook. And, like, so I don't overwrite... Like, when I'm present here, it will be my culture, but the second I move out, it goes back to the original people that live there.
Do the colonial province natives have any effect on the migratory natives?
Say that again?
So, for example, if you click on Sesken, which is the province just to the north, there are natives present in that, so 500 of them. Does that have any impact on the migratory natives?
No. Is it possible for Aztecs to lose land then become migratory? No, they do not have the native flag on them, so they don't get these mechanics. So you cannot do migratory Aztecs and then become a nomad horde as Aztecs. I'm sorry. you can convert to the Nahuatl religion. The mechanics are not tied to the religion whatsoever, so you can be whatever religion you want.
How does the development affect AE? It's still based on province, right?
Yes, it's still based on province. And it's also I think taking tribal land is 25% war score, and then if it's a capital, then it's way. If you try to take the capital, it's way more, or a settled province. But otherwise, it's like a flat 25%, I think, something like that. Because I still didn't want you to just be able to plow through and kill 4 or 5 countries in one go.
Historically, Aztecs were migrants until they founded Tenochtitlan. Then they were settled.
I'm pretty sure they're not migratory at this point in history. I'm pretty sure. I might be misremembering that, but yeah.
Because it is a cool story. Like the eagle sitting on a cactus, which is part of Mexico's flag, is how the Aztecs found Tenochtitlan, which is now New Mexico. Quetzalcoatl said, "Keep being migratory until you see an eagle sitting on a cactus, and then settle there." It's a cool story.
I saw a question before. Also, how the AI natives are gonna behave? What you as England or Spain will expect? Well, you should expect some consolidation in North America, but mainly the coastline should be pretty free for you to colonize.
In fact, we can see a pretty good example there. Abika has consolidated, and then you can also see the faint outlines of the territories of the migratory tribes around.
Yeah.
So fighting against Abika would be more of a traditional conflict, whereas going around Delaware would be a mixture of the migratory tribes and then also the colonial nation.
And also, probably so the second you get there, probably nothing changes, but you should see, because there is a little bit of an AI weight, hey, there's a colonizer next to me, I want to stay in a federation, or I want to join a federation. So you should probably see them bunch up a little bit, and they should be able to catch up a little bit in tech, even if they are behind you. So it's not just going to be a steamroll. My hope is that they should at least exist until the 1600s, something like that. But yeah, probably for really good players in EU4, as most of you watching here probably are, you will probably be able to roll over them. But for a majority of players, it's going to be a little bit more fun to interact and play and ally with natives. Maybe if you're France and there's a pesky England in the eastern seaboard, maybe you'll ally some natives in order to get some people helping you fight. Since people have questions about startup, right? Because that's the cool part. But with the map. So I'm going to restart. Let us get in there so people can ask questions about that. and I can show it. Will the Maori and Aboriginal Australia modernize the same way? Actually, so we will go over Australia as well, but it all depends on if they use the same mechanic, which we can see they might actually be.
So like
all of this was made by Mecca, who's content designer at Paradox, and his passion project has always been like Australia. And I told him like if he wants to use the mechanics I made, he feel free to. And yeah, yes. So they will be using the exact same mechanics. They will just have their own religion. There, that's all you get to see.
Yeah, we're showing Oceania next week, so come back then. No, sorry, in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. On the 21st, we're doing Oceania. Next week, we're doing Southeast Asia and the monuments.
Mm-hmm. And people do want to see culture map mode, so I am gonna do that. So if we go here,
well, that's developed.
Mm-hmm. A lot more interesting than it was before, I would say. How many unique monuments are in the game? Well, we're gonna cover monuments next stream, which will be next Wednesday, same time as this one. But I can probably give you a hint of like it's more than 40 unique great projects.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
I know you were trying to list them all out. I was like, wow, that's some good memory.
Yeah. So yeah, so I condoned it down to a list of like 5, I think, or something, of like these are the ones I want to show off. But yeah, there's quite a few. And I believe every single one of them have on-map art as well. So we could go...
No, I mean,
some of them...
for the north.
Some of them are like, old ones. Oh, what? That you've probably seen before. But here we have a little building here you might recognize. And here... So, I mean, if we... Oh, what's that? Oh, no. Oh.
Showing too much, Groogy. Showing too much.
Oh.
Stop. I'll leave the outro to you.
To me?
To you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And next Wednesday, we'll go over Southeast Asia, and that will include the very many unique great projects. I'll try and cover as many as I can, but it's quite a few. Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on the forum or on social.